Welcome back. It's a shiny, bright Saturday. I'm joined by Rose, and we got a hell of a game coming up next. Yeah, a hell of a game. It's going to be great, I'm sure. San Francisco Shock facing the Vancouver Titans. Rose, oh man, look at the scoreline across the regular season from San Francisco Shock. They're 10-0.
Yeah.
Literal flip on his head. You look at Vancouver Titans, 0-10.
They're consistent.
It couldn't be more opposite right now in this series. The Vancouver Titans, though, I really do feel like they can win a game with the team that they do have. Are they going to win against the San Francisco Shock? Probably not, since Shock have been performing above and beyond expectations for the longest time, since the start of the season, in fact. The Vancouver Titans, on the other hand, yeah, flashes in the pan here and there, Rose.
Absolutely. I mean, for the San Francisco Shock, you take a look at the roster. They just integrated Mikey into that main tank role, which really allows San Francisco to have a bunch of flexibility. And speaking of which, we're going to get Mikey in the starting lineup for the San Francisco Shock as well. And especially when we're kicking things off on Oasis, I do think that that's going to provide a lot of value for the team to kind of just play a little more flexibly. Maybe some Wrecking Ball here, maybe some Doomfist. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, probably Wrecking Ball, I can imagine, Rose. They always have him in for control ever since they picked him up. The Vancouver Titans, on the other hand, I mean, look, it is the Shock. Could you take a map? Maybe. I think a lot of people will be predicting a 3-0 in the favor of Shock today. But we have seen, especially in a meta that is quite solo dependent, especially in the DPS slot, Aspire and Shockwave can pop off, but can they actually stand up to arguably Rookie of the Year, some people calling him MVP of the Year, to Improper, or Sam, who has also been flexing on things like Genji, who's looked unbelievable. Here's the starting lineup for the Titans. We've got Mirror in, so Doomfist for the Vancouver Titans, Martin, Aztac, Aspire, and Shockwave in DPS.
I'm really excited about Aztac in this starting lineup. I mean, Aztac, I feel like in stage number 1 with the meta as we had it, I was looking for more individual impact on the maps that he was subbed in for, because he didn't play every single map. But now that Aztac gets a chance to play Zenyatta, I do feel like that has been a very impressive hero for him so far this stage. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much he's able to help bolster up the team's backline playing a hero like that.
Mirror's kind of like going a little bit crazy. He's ready to go in. We'll see if Aspire can be truly nasty in this game. Him and Shockwave have been so good. Like, Trace are the perfect hero for Aspire to play. It's one he made his name on in 2021 for the Toronto Defiant, when he got added quite late into the season. And his Tracer was just a standout performer. Shockwave as well. Another very, very mechanically gifted player. On things like Sojourn, it's perfect. It is the perfect meta for the Titans. It's finding that first elusive win, really getting you off the ground. And it's been the same story for the Titans over the last couple of years, Rose, of course, with the runaway roster not playing anymore. It's been an interesting couple of years for the organization as a whole, but I think the Vancouver Titans fans out there, they're still looking for them to, build this big comeback, and I think this roster, they have the potential to do it.
Yeah.
Especially with the addition of Mirror too, another very, very good flexible player. We saw him play every single role for he was the first player to play every single role in the Overwatch League back when he was on the Gladiators. We saw him play support, tank, and DPS, which was kind of crazy. And it's good to see him flexing over to things like Doomfist in this meta.
Yeah, I'm laughing because 1v1 ball.
You can't aim. Oh my god, Doomfist.
Ball.
Right, Rose?
Yeah. I think this Doomfist makes a lot more sense on University just because you have way less room to be able to make those Wrecking Ball rollouts. So it just helps to enable that front line a little bit more.
Ooh. Spire winning out the small little 1v1 there versus Proper. That's what you like to see. Taking control of the mini pack is fairly important. Gives Violet and Finn somewhere to hide. So Mikey is currently fighting over that, forcing Mirror away. Point unlocks. Now the pressure begins for the Shock. They planted 2 people firmly on it. Nice little dive in for Mirror. Takes care of Finn, but Proper and Sam doing a little bit of defense. Proper running to the back line, killing on Marsa, and the Titans are history. Violet cleaning up the rest as the Shock claim the point.
Yep.
Oh, don't lose the 1v1. Okay, you're good.
Sam getting so
get 3
low.
tapped.
Yeah, I mean, at least like Sam's playing Hanzo, so he's able to get back to point and still have impact from that longer range, but it wouldn't feel good to get staggered like that. Look how much damage Mirror has already taken, though, waiting for those cooldowns to come back online. Mirror has been hunting that backline for the San Francisco Shock.
Yeah, Proper's actually playing super far back. He's actually on his Mega Pack.
Yeah.
So when Mirror tries to make an entrance, well, Proper can just do a little flank. Oh, nice shot from Shockwave. In fact, a couple of nice Storm Arrows to follow. Violet and Finn didn't expect Shockwave to be on the side. They were all looking at Aspire, who is kind of owning and trying to own a lot of space with the help of Mirror. Mirror does end up getting slept. He is in a small corner, actually uses the Meteor Strike to get out of the way as the Vancouver Titans find the cap.
Yeah, it was a really well-earned cap as well. You know, Shockwave being able to take that flank. Mirror in the back again.
Wow, not bad. You take those. Oh, what a sleep from Finn. However, the pulse bomb is going to connect. They do take care of Mirror. So now the San Francisco Shock have to back up. Waiting for Finn to come back in. They have Nano, where they know Aztec doesn't, because they use that to get Mirror into the back line.
It was a nice surprise from the Vancouver Titans to go into the backline, but Shock's not the type of team to allow that to happen to them twice. You know, fool's not. Wait, shame on you if you have that happen again or something.
Sam is super low. Nano onto Mikey, creates a little bit of space. Forcing Shock all the way back, but it doesn't really result in too much. That punch didn't connect either. That would have been devastating if Aztec fell off the map. Mirror is already down, but Aztec finds a kill in Violent. Somehow, just not healing his team. I mean, he received the beat. You might as well do a bit of extra damage. Now he's in a whole lot of trouble. 3 people have dove on top of him, and Sam finds the kill. Proper sitting on a pulse bomb, might not need it as Mikey kills Shockwave. Still, the San Francisco Shock having the Tracer on point is going to be tough for the Titans to dislodge him, especially now with Mirror not having the power block. Proper running rings around the Titans right now, but Aspire stalling for long enough to get them 84% on point.
That's amazing. Vancouver Titans have earned themselves that 1 fight territory mark. They just have to come back into this one, get a nice big stick with the pulse bomb from Aspire, and that might open up the doors for them to go ahead and take a round here on Oasis. Mikey switched over to the Wrecking Ball, though, and you got Sam on the Genji there to back that up.
Really nice nade from Finn there. However, no follow-up. Aspire and Shockwave had to back up. Proper threw the pulse bomb in on top of it, and they didn't manage to get anything. But Mirror dives in, gets slapped, insta-killed by Prophet. That Discord Orb does so much, or the Ana, sorry, does so much. You hit that sleep, the nade, there's not much you can do as the Doomfist. You haven't got the power block, you basically die. Looks like a go again for the Titans, but that is allowed Shock to build it towards the blade. Maybe they even get Nano, depends how much healing and damage Finn can output in this next small skirmish.
Yeah, I mean, look at the poke that I feel like San Francisco Shock is allowing the Titans to get onto the team so Finn can actually build up to the Nano to provide that over to Sam's Dragon Blade. This is tough, though. I don't think that Mirror's Meteor Strike is going to be enough to open up the door for Titans.
Oh, Mikey was in the skybox there, trying to go fisticuffs with Shockwave. Mirror already using the ult. Like, Mirror's using a lot of his cooldowns to try and take care of Finn. They do so, but they trade their honor. There's the blade from Sam. Misses the one swing on Shockwave, who's high in the sky. Is he going to be able to get the second one? Nope. Has to just hit the deflect before Shockwave does kill him. Overtime is here, and the San Francisco Shock still have control of the point. A nice pulse one from Proper. He's taking the game into his own hands. Trying to spawn camp Aspire. Doesn't have a recall, but has the heals to back him up. A beat and a Nano available for the Shock to try and defend. The Titans managed to get on point. Increase the overtime clock, but with Master dying and Aspire with no recall, it should be all over. Yeah, a beat and a Nano, you can't contest with that. And the Shock get round 1.
Shock did such a good job of forcing Mirror to use the Meteor Strike without using it for that explosive damage to just disrupt the Shock's composition. But Shock had also switched it up a little bit. They kind of recognized, hey, the Doomfist isn't working out as well as we really wanted it to in that first half of the map. And so changing over to the Wrecking Ball in a more dive-centric composition with the Genji in tow as well really did allow the Shock to kind of dive onto the backline and trade those a little bit better instead of just having Finn and Violet dove on repeatedly by the Titans. Big switch-ups, though, coming in here. If Shockwave stays on this Sombra, this could be really big to make Mikey's Wrecking Ball a huge ultimate battery for the Titans.
Yeah, it looks like he's staying on it. Okay, okay. Sombra picked quite often when you go against the Wrecking Ball. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm like in the middle. At this point in time, I think I'm in the middle. We're seeing a lot of APAC teams perma play the Sombra.
Yeah.
I just think Toronto Defiant just have Hisu not on Sombra, they should have him on Sojourn. I think that's where my hate for the Sombra comes in. I'm going to be real.
That's fair. Fair and valid.
Nice little dive. Oh, wow. Spike got rolled by Proper. In fact, Proper's just rolling everybody by the looks of it. Yeah, Titans tried to go for a dive, and it seemed their target was the front line. Like, Violet was just chilling on his own. They just all tunnel into the left-hand side there, and Mikey and Proper and Sam just let it loose, and yeah, wow, that was very quick.
Yeah, the direction that the Shock took that was really disadvantageous for the Titans. They would have liked to have a little bit more time to set up Shockwave in the backline to be able to get a key hack, but the way that Shock played that tempo made it difficult for Titans to actually get set up there.
Oh, another Bionade on Mirror. He slept. Oh, every single cooldown from Ana being thrown at him. Luckily, a spike. Oh, Mikey! Oh, that's why you bring in the Wrecking Ball specialists.
Oh my god!
Yeah, hello and goodbye. Double boop into the cars. Woo!
Oh, we know what we're talking about, like
need a
disrespect of like Zenyatta kick on an environmental. That feels pretty bad too, not gonna lie. That was a strike there coming in for the Shock. I saw that coming too. I was like, no, surely not, Jaws.
Just turn into roadkill. Unlucky Titans, it's all good. First, still coating the tarmac though, unfortunately. Proper has got the pulse, 55% for the Shock. Sam gets taken out fairly early. Time for the Shock to go, try and make a play. Aspire's already been checked by Proper, had the orb on him, but Proper's got the health back at his back. Pulse bomb looks pretty easy to line up, but he's got to be careful of Master Shield, and Mikey once again just rolling over the rest of the Titans. Even a nano onto Violet to keep him alive through that engagement. Woo!
Ah, that was so big.
The Shock. Just running away with.
Yeah, this has been a perfect stage so far for the Shock. I mean, they're going to have the Transcendence. They didn't even need it for the EMP that came out, so I love that Finn was able to give that nano over to Violet to keep him up and alive, but this is going to be a tough one for the Titans to get anything done if they don't get the Rally and the Transcendence online. They've also got to stagger those.
Ooh. That was a really nice hack. However, the wall climb still going to be there. It's more of an interrupt now. Would have been good if someone else followed up, but Aspire, unfortunately, wasn't in a position to do so. Overtime is here. The Titans pop the rally, but Shockwave is actually already dead. Translocator maybe destroyed, couldn't get back to it in time. Dragons to separate the Titans, although it goes mainly into the floor, so just ripping up some of that flooring, I suppose. And Aztec going down, not looking good. He had Transcendence, but the Titans weren't able to get that off in time. The Shock just firmly planted on the point. Aspire takes care of Proper, a little bit of revenge, but that should just be it. The San Francisco Shock claim map number 1. Looking like they're going to continue their undefeated spree in the regular season thus far.
Think
but,
so.
you know, Titans, they still got something to fight for.
I liked the Sombra choice for a little while there. I just don't think it was seeing the value that the Titans really wanted it to have. I mean, look how mobile the composition on the Shock were when they had the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball. You can't hack every pack, you know? It's just going to be tough to keep that map territorial control.
Well, there you go. Can the Shock continue their streak? We'll have to find out. Map number 2, right around the corner, just after this.
that lightning doesn't strike twice has never met the San Francisco shot.
Some of the most hardcore carry performances that I've ever seen.
Just a depth of talent on their roster that can't be denied.
I mean, what more can you ask from the Shock? This is going to be a wild ride.
Violet is cracked. He's out of his mind. I say that justice. Okay.
At pace with everything right now.
Jesus Christ, dude. Sam is deadlifting right now, actually. Finish is doing so much. Cleans it up like DPS and Yada.
San Francisco has cemented themselves as the greatest team in Overwatch.
Welcome back. Yes. Here's the player that we need multiple replays for. Splatter spree for the cars there.
Oh,
that was rather silly, but I mean, you'll have to see it. More wreckable highlights like that, please. And Thank you, Mikey. All right, map number 2 coming up in just a bit. Sky Ripper is in for the Titans. We're not seeing Masa anymore. So what does that say to you, Rose?
Well, I think we're going to see some Baptiste coming out from the Vancouver Titans. You know, Sky Ripper used to actually be, I think, like a Mercy 1 trick and then ended up flexing over to heroes like the Baptiste to be able to play a little bit more to the meta that was happening in the Overwatch contender circuit. So I would love to see if we're going to see some like Baptiste and Zenyatta action. That's been very meta so far. But Jaws, I gotta point out that Mikey's staying in for this next map, and that makes me very excited about the main tank play we're going to see here from the Shock.
Yeah, we're going to King's Row as our second map. Man, Mikey's staying in. Wrecking Ball, we saw a little bit of his Doomfist. I can imagine he just wants to continue playing the ball. We'll see what he wants to do. They're on defense. The Shock are on defense first. So you can play Wrecking Ball here. Swing around the statue if you really wanted to.
Maybe.
Just chill up on the high ground, go for the power drivers. Not something we'd usually see, but yeah, I'm all for it.
No spin
honestly.
to win?
No
spin to win around Mundata?
Around the statue? Yeah, why not? I think it's really good that the Shock are doing this too. Getting Mikey's just some more playtime is always quite exciting.
Wait.
And,
no. I was
okay,
like,
no.
I know that the desk want
Big troll.
that on their wish list. We're not gonna get it checked off the bingo card today, though. The Winston makes a lot of sense. We've seen Mikey play some of the Winston, especially when you're going to want to try to pair that with the backline of that Zenyatta. That makes the dives way more impactful. And then you also have the Genji from Proper that can go in and help clean up those eliminations, too.
Yeah, I mean, almost a classic dive.
Yeah.
Except there's no Tracer. It's just a Hanzo. What Titan's going to do? Are they going to match it? I can imagine Mirror's only going to play Doom. There's just almost no way that he matches the Winston. I mean, he could, but not a traditional tank player. It would have made more sense to swap him out for False if he was going to. If they wanted to play something like that. There you go. You see, that's what I mean. Like the Vancouver Titans. They're 0-10, yes, but I really do believe this roster has what it takes to find wins, and that is a little bit sad to say, you know, but.
Let's go Shockwave!
There's sometimes Shockwave with 2, 3 on the entrance, a nice little double kill on the supports. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you spoke it into existence there, Jaws. I mean, Shockwave is one of those players that can absolutely have those pop-off moments, and that didn't even need any setup, you know? That was just kind of a big hero play coming out from that Hanzo, and it really opened up the point so that Vancouver Titans could get this payload rolling. Oh my god!
Spy goes on the Tracer, and Shockwave helps him finish it up with the arrows. However, a body shot and then a melee will finish a Spire, unfortunately. That's got to be one of the quickest. Oh my god, what a flick onto Prophet. Proper. Oh, they're almost the same person. Both insane at Overwatch.
Fair.
Finally gets shut down by Sam, but wow, Shockwave is having unreal impact on this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, this has been absolutely incredible. Oh, poor Shockwave. Definitely didn't want to go down there. Wants to buff up his KD ratio, you know? It's been pretty good so far, but we've got to tone it down a little bit, Shockwave, okay? You're running the server right now. Chill. Chill, bro. But this is great. I mean, Sam's keeping up, though. You know, Sam is going to be getting that Dragon Strike online about the same time that Shockwave is going to get his up as well. But as the attacking team, the Titans can really use this to their advantage to just split the team.
Oh wow, Finn and Violet again just getting assassinated. Dragon Strike from Sam doesn't result in all too much. Finish up the kill onto Mikey. There we go. Easy peasy. San Francisco Shock. I'm not sure they knew what hit him. Well, I'll tell you, it's the locks coming out from Shockwave right now. 1v1. Mirror currently losing. Oh, unlucky, yeah. Unfortunate. Sam should go down unless he pulls some ridiculous Hanzo moments. No, there you go. Spire cleans him up. Shockwave finds a headshot onto Proper. And a 5.5 minute time back for the Vancouver Titans on Kings Row second, going into third.
Oh man, this is making every Vancouver Titans fan super happy to see. This is a lot of time, and Vancouver Titans should be able to capture all 3 points here, especially when they've got the ultimate economy right now. I mean, Mirror can go in super aggressive with a Meteor Strike available, and you've got the Transcendence in case things go awry.
Yeah, and Shockwave is hot right now. He's ready to rock and roll. Nano boost for Mikey. He's trying to rock and roll in the back line. Immortality field used, and Transcendence from Aztec. Not enough to save Sky Ripper. And with Mirror going down, that should be it for the push. I mean, when you're feeling yourself on the Hanzo, like, you hit some just god tier stuff. Yep. And you can see the shock. Proper was kind of juggling on the high ground there a little bit. He knew Shockwave's onto the side, but didn't really want to peek him just in case.
Yeah.
You got to be scared when the Hanzo's on fire, because, yeah, they're hitting some nutty ones.
Especially because, like, you have Deflect on cooldown, you know? And so, yeah, definitely don't want to get stuck with your head peeking around a corner. But that was a really expensive fight for the Titans. They were really hoping to get something done there, but they used 3 ultimates to Finn's 1. And so now, just like that, Shock are the ones that have that ultimate economy in their control. And you've got to be patient now as the Titans to try to get some of this back.
It's a good start. Pulse one to Finn. Shockwave in a little bit of trouble. Didn't see Proper coming, but he does get cleaned up. Aspire. One-man wrecking crew in the back line for the Titans. Takes care of both Violet and Finn. Pushing the payload all the meanwhile. Discord Orb is going to force Mikey all the way back. He was in prime, but that health bar was just dipping oh so low. The Titans have a lot of space to work with now. However, the Shock, they do have Blade and Transcendence in their back pocket for last, so the Titans have to play a little bit slow. Just wait for 5 and then go again. Oh, good sleep on a Spire. Can they finish this up? Yes, they can. Nice sleep from Finn.
That's a good stagger as well. You know, the Titans are just going to have to kind of keep up with the pressure that the Shock are putting out there. That's a great start, though.
Wait, Mirror's in, and he's out. Kills Violet. Window for Sky Ripper, so the Shock can't peek. Someone has to touch. Someone's got to do it. You've got to force this payload. Mirror now in the backline. The solo plays from the Titans DPS and tank roster right now. Meteor Strike straight on top of Proper, who's extremely low. He's using the Blade, but he can't really do all too much. And now once again, Sam is under so much pressure. Mirror in the back. Misses the punch. Sam takes care of him. Proper without the Blade kills Aztec. They got a few meters to go, but a lot of time left in the bank for the Vancouver Titans. They can go again. If Aspire opens us up with a pulse bomb, they should be good.
Yeah, that was able to happen before Aspire landed the pulse stick onto Violet. And Violet doesn't have the Transcendence, so, you know, San Francisco Shock aren't going to be losing too much here, except really stopping that ultimate generation progress and kind of making that off kilter with some of the things that they'd like to combo. But let's see what this pulse can do.
Ooh! A certified Shockwave classic there. Couple of Storm Arrows. Finn's already dead. They Shock lose the Nano, and they've only got the Dragon Strike to already work with. Aspire's running rings around Proper, and the Vancouver Titans have killed 2. Pressure on the payload is what they need right now, as the Vancouver Titans backline's in a little bit of trouble. A nice anti-nade from Spawn, and a Nano boost onto Mikey might be the defense the Shock were looking for, but they're still struggling to get a space on the payload. But with Shockwave dead, there's a whole lot of damage from the Titans now down. Aspires to follow, and the Titans are going to have to go again once more.
It's a lot of time eaten off of the bank as well. Vancouver Titans walked into this one with 5.5 minutes, and they've got 2 left. Aspire going to switch things up here, going over to the Sojourn. But at this point, let's hope that that Sojourn is going to be enough to provide that long-range damage and sustain. Unfortunately, just the Tracer wasn't giving the point presence that the Titans would have really wanted it to have. And I think also putting Mirror in some very awkward positions to have to go in more dangerously than he would want to, especially without that Meteor Strike available.
Dive for Mikey, pops the Primal, gets away. A Dragon Strike, stopping a lot of that. Oh, what a shot! Sam jumped off at the top rope, tried to get a headshot, but a headshot himself. Proper's got the Blade, no Nano to follow up with, and the window's been used on the Titans. Mikey trying to jump back to try and stop the Titans using that window, but they just swap sides, and they end up killing it. Okay, a minute to go. They had 5 minutes and 30 seconds coming into this point, and Finn's on the side, trying to go for a cheeky nade once again, but actually using the nade on himself to keep himself up. Mira jumps to the sky using the Meteor Strike, and the Vancouver Titans still trying to force an ultimate out of the Shock. They do so, but Vida using the Transcendence gives the San Francisco Shock a lot of space, and Proper's still holding onto this blade. Ultimate Economy's looking great for the Shock right now, as now there's 40 seconds to go. Proper pops the Dragon Blade, the lamp's already been used as Shockwave takes him out. The Vancouver Titans now trading 1-for-1 as Aztac falls.
Aztac now going to have to come back into this one very quickly. The Transcendence being used here in this last fight to no avail is going to make this tough.
Nano onto Mikey, he's straight into the back. Mira punches him into the wall, but Proper's already taken care of a Spy. Titans were so distracted with the Nano Wrecking Ball that they couldn't look after a Spy who was way further up than the rest of the team. 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough battle for the Titans, like with the lack of point presence they have here.
Sleep nade, the Immortality Field was not enough. The power block was already used. Not sure who's really going to touch in this situation. Aspire through the window, does manage to snipe Sam. And now Proper's going to have to be the wrecking ball that he is. There we go, 1, 2, and 3 dashes for Proper. Mira is back, but he is dealt with. And the San Francisco Shock whittled down that 5.5-minute time back from Titans on point C.
It was really disappointing when the Vancouver Titans used so many ultimates when they had just entered into that third point. They had 4 available just, and they used 3. 2 Finn's Nano. That's all the Shock needed to keep the Titans out of completing this third point, and then from there it just felt like it was a bit of a struggle to keep up with the pace the Shock were setting, especially in that last fight. Shock saw an opportunity and took it when Aztac was just coming back from the spawn, and they were like, well, we've got a Wrecking Ball, we've got a Nano. Let's see what we can get done before the Titans are able to reach the point. So very tough stuff there for that final point, but it's still winnable. Maybe the Titans could still close this out on third.
I felt like Shock were just the ones to go first.
Yeah.
Every single engagement. Mikey was just permanently jumping the backline, whether it was on the Winston, whether it was on the Wrecking Ball, whether he had Nano or he didn't, if he had Prime or didn't. Like, there was no case in which he was just not going in, just full force. Yep. And a lot of the time, the Titans members were having to recoil slightly and then trying to deal with Mikey, and then we saw on the second to last fight, a Spy got picked because Mikey was in the back. Yeah. Nano does Wrecking Ball, so rather tough. And the Titans, who had an unrelenting pace on point A and B, unfortunately not able to get to C. We'll see if Shockwave can hold down the fort, though.
It was able to,
good clip.
like,
I mean, even if you don't win, that's a good Twitter clip right there.
It is.
Shockwave getting unreal kills.
That's one for the highlight reel, that's for sure. Sam already doing some damage, though, at least to whoever's waiting in the wings on the right. It's going to be Mirror over there that gets the ante, too. Oh, man. A Shock could just kind of kite around this, though. They could just go through Hotel and completely bypass a lot of the damage.
Oh, what a sleep. Finn's sleep accuracy is insane. Can they actually kill Mirror? He should have power block up by now. Aspire was, with the help of Mirror, just kind of chilling and sleeping on the backline, takes care of Sam, but the Vancouver Titans are quite split. The Shock support line more than happy just to duo and just kill Mirror or force him all the way back.
Yeah, Mirror at least is going to be able to get a health pack, heal up very quickly, and you know what? Titans haven't given up the point just yet. Like, what's this in the back here? Proper just trying to turn some heads.
He's in the spawn. Proper is in the spawn. He's trying to spawn camp the bat, and it's going to work. That is very unlucky. Sky Ripper had Proper on him the moment he spawned. Oh, can he get the wall? Right click? Yes, he can. Aztac was there to finish the kill, but it doesn't matter. The Shock are going to get the payload going.
At least Aztac walks away with some extra ult charge, so that's fun, right? And you're definitely going to need that Transcendence when you look at how much damage is about to be headed the Titans' way when you see that Finn has that Nano up. But let's watch this sleep. Oh!
Nice. Quite straight line using Seismic Slam.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little telegraphed for the Ana to be able to hit that sleep, but it's still impressive nonetheless, just given like the accuracy that Finn has had with those sleep darts so far this series. And then you also just get to back up into a health pack, so really nicely played by Finn. And that nano is going to be available now to give over to Mikey or, yeah.
Oh, what a stick. Oh, Transcendence forced. We take those, we take those. However, Titans had to use the Transcendence of their own. Mikey was jumping in with the nano boost. Means Proper doesn't have the nano for the blade, unfortunately, but doesn't seem to mind whatsoever. Window will take care of Mikey, but Proper still in the back line, causing absolute pandemonium right now. Aztec, though, hello? Aztec? Okay, let's not shoot deflect, though. One more kill for the boys? Yeah, okay, Aztec.
That's what we're talking about, right? The backline of the Vancouver Titans, like, you know, across the board, we've got stars on this team, but it's about seeing them have these individual pop-off moments, which they can have. Look at Shockwave. Skyripper has been hitting some great immortality fields, Aztec as well, with these nice pop shots, right clicks, good stuff for the team.
Dragon Strike. Force the Titans back. I hear Mirror. He's in the back line of the Shock right now. Yeah, it is. Look.
Yeah.
Everybody from the Shock.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay. There's no way you survive that. That's rather unlucky. Tried to get back to the rest of his team. He's not as quick and as small as Tracer is, unfortunately. Oh, dear. Here's the resets. Should be fairly easy from now on, unless Shockwave just goes crazy again, but unlikely in a small corridor like this. And there we go. Titans laid to waste, and the Shock pushing on to point B.
Unfortunately, the Titans don't have a whole lot to stand their ground with, but they are able to come back in and recontest this point as long as Mirror doesn't get taken out here. You see him go back to get the health pack, but that cart rounding this corner should still have enough time for the Titans to come back and get the contest in.
Yeah, it should be enough. I mean, Mirror's there, he's going to have Orb. He is discorded, though, so he has to be a little bit careful, and Spy can juggle the payload on top of that. All the way at the back. Oh, what a stick again! The Spider's sticks are just unreal. You don't even really see him coming, which is the danger.
Oh, no!
Oh, they really just did it. They really just did that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Yeah, that happened. Anyway.
Let's move forward.
That's an Aspire nasty moment. Well, not quite.
Well.
Right, Titans unfortunately C9 their payload, and now the Shock of 3.5 minutes to get to just before that last checkpoint.
And the Dragon Blade here.
Nano, Blade, oh, lamp, kill the lamp, please kill the lamp with the Transcendence. He can go for the slash and dash combo, but with 21 HP, I don't think Proper wants to go for that one. Nice delayed lamp usage from the Vancouver Titans, but with the supports being this far up, seems rather unsalvageable now, although with the Mirror coming back, kills Proper. Not a bad start, but Mikey still just going in the back line over and over and over and over again. He's permanent. He's like set up residency in the Titans support lineup right now.
Ooh. Okay, Meteor Strike. Does Mirror get to find some value with this? At least he's able to get away, but I think the Shock have to back up on this one. The respawns are coming through too fast for the Titans.
Dragons versus nobody there on near the payload. Proper take care of Aztec. Spy, he's playing a little bit more defensively now. Of course, you have to with the payload this far off. Not many flank routes either on this point. Gets antied Proper with a quick dash melee. Insta-kill. Get on the payload.
Oh.
Don't. Oh, well. Unfortunate. Wasn't really a C9, though, I will say. But the San Francisco Shock, they do claim map number 2 in the series. A very, very strong showing from the Titans, and Shockwave more specifically there from the Titans. It's 5 minutes and 30 seconds going into point C, so that cannot be understated.
Yep.
However, the Shock looking as good as ever. 2-0 after that Kings row, looking to make it 11-0 out of today, row.
Yeah, this is going to be another probably, you know, what people expected coming out from this matchup, but I love the nice bright spots we're seeing out of the Vancouver Titans. There's definitely signs of life in this team.
Absolutely. We're going to jump to a break. We got Escort coming up. We'll see you in a sec.
the tip of the spear, and the follow-up is there.
Rotations away from WGS Phoenix winning the fight.
Saved by Aztec though. It happened.
Even Scale instantly deleted.
Oh my goodness. A little bait and switch, huh?
Want a chance to earn some sweet, sweet cash and rewards while watching the Midseason Madness qualifiers? It's pretty easy. Just head over to pick'em.overwatchleague.com and make your picks. There's also private leaderboards over there now, which is pretty epic as well. So yeah, you can win some prizes. It's great, Rose, and cash up to 50 grand.
It's a lot.
Pretty awesome. Just go make your picks. If you think you're smart enough, maybe you win some moolah. Right, back to the game at hand, the San Francisco Shock and the Vancouver Titans. Final map potential here for the Shock. If they can round this one out, it would be a sweet 3-0, but the Titans, they're looking pretty decent. Coming off the back of that King's Row, they had 5 minutes and 30 seconds in the time bank for point C, off some nasty arrows from Shockwave.
Yeah, that was really, really nice to see the Vancouver Titans have that lightning fast pace in King's Row. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the job done, but there's still so much to really be looking at and celebrating here for the Titans. This stage, they've looked even better than they did in stage number 1, and it's still very possible that we don't get a 3-0 here looking at our next map.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. The Shock have subbed out Sam. Kilo is now in, so it's Kilo and Proper in the DPS line. Keeping Mikey in. It's Gibraltar. A little bit more like Monkey, a little bit more Doomfist if you really need to, a little bit more the Wrecking Ball. Can flex onto a whole bunch. Shock going to be attacking first, too. See what Titans want to play.
I feel like we're just going to see more of the Winston coming out from the Shock. They've been really, really good on that in particular, but then I don't know about the Titans here. I feel like they're baiting us just a little bit. I don't think Diva is the right call for the meta right now. As much as it's fun to see that hero, you just end up having a lot of issues with getting taken out of the mech too early and then not being able to provide any extra help over to the team. So the Doomfist makes sense. Mirror's been really performing well on this pick, and especially when you've got Aspire and Shockwave there to back you up and secure those picks. It feels pretty good. This is a composition that's really vibing here for the Titans.
Wow, I didn't realize those had hitboxes, those little antennas. That's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. All right, yeah, so you're right. It's just going to be the Winston. Oh, nice name. Very nice.
Very nice.
All look good, though. Aspire on the Genji and Shockwave back in the Hanzo. You want to keep Shockwave in the Hanzo. He's definitely been feeling it this season, this series, or, well, this season, to be fair, so far, especially on that pick.
Yeah, I think this is a really good look here for the Shock as well to kind of keep up with the dive that will be coming in from the Titans.
Oh, nice. Shockwave finding the first kill. Almost kills himself by accident. Oh, and there's the dash. Yep. Few orbs and a few extra bullets thrown his way as Proper deflected a lot of that damage towards him. They do trade, and look at that. Shock undeterred. They do push through Car Wash with ease. But the Vancouver Titans have the high ground now. Good for Skyripper and Aztec.
Yeah, they can play back a little bit farther.
If they want to get on the high ground, I mean,
maybe from server
maybe they don't go up to high.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because, you know, you have Mikey and you've got Proper that have easy access to those types of places. So Skyripper and Aztec really do want to play this a bit safer, especially when you've got the pack right there.
I mean, the dive from Shock is just immaculate. Kilo with 3 kills on the Tracer, 1, 2, and 3. And I mean, with Proper and Mikey diving, yeah, they didn't even really need heals. Skyripper and Aztec were left out to dry, unfortunately. Go on, hit the reflect kill. Oh, no. Shockwave's not going to manage to find anything. Payload gets to checkpoint A. 5 minutes on the time bank. And with Shockwave going down that early, it's not the best look. The Shock can take the high ground with ease now.
Yeah, that's going to be like easy territory claimed there for Mikey. You can see him already set up on top of the ship. And Titans are stuck in the stairwell.
Oh, Nano. Proper's going to be able to turn Blade off this. He's only 10% away. A couple of Shurikens will do it. Make that 5%. Oh, Nano fades away before he gets it, but Just passively, he'll get it in a moment's notice. Aztec gets Nano to try and save him. Sky Ripper not quite so lucky. Unfortunately, can't nano yourself just yet. Proper in a lot of trouble. Ain't even a Transcendence forced. If Proper stays alive, he can play for free after this. He's got a couple HP left, finally taken out. But all the meanwhile, Kilo has been on card duty. He's pushed it almost to the second point already.
Yeah.
Meteor Strike used by Mirror. And while he's up in the skies, unable to protect the rest of his team, Mikey handily takes care of Shockwave. Sky Ripper is back in the action, but not for long, as Mikey bashes them away as Kilo sits on the payload, ever so close to capping point B now.
Mikey's, I mean, gonna just trying to keep everybody on the Titans away from the cart right now.
Seems pretty easy. Third kill. Ooh, a little whoop-de-whoop. There you go. Nice. Good stuff. The Shock, 5 minutes still in the time bank. Kilo that entire time. He's been doing a fair bit of damage, fair few kills here and there, but he's been planting his feet on that payload that whole time, and he didn't stop it rolling.
I mean, that's the tough part about trying to hit a Tracer that's playing around a cart. How do you do it? Maybe with the Dynamite, this will help. Shockwave has switched over to the Ash. Easy to be able to get up on the high ground with that coach gun for the mobility. And then you also just have free reign. Who do you send after Shockwave up there except Mikey?
Nano on to Mikey. He is discorded, playing his bubble, but he's stopping the supports from Drury, helping his team right now. Choga is taken out by Proper. Nano boost onto Mirror. This is where they need to party. Get onto Violet and Finn, force that Transcendence. That is going to be the aim of the game. Pulse bomb from Kilo does go wide, but Scarippa steps a little bit too far forward. Has to hit that recall as Aztec's hit him with a headshot, and a Transcendence has been forced by Violet. And Aztec, in fact, wanting to continue this fight. Pops the Transcendence of his own, but unable to kill Finn. But Shockwave on the high ground from the spawn takes care of both DPS from the Shock. Ooh! Violet with a little kick there onto Mirror, managed to make that a trade.
Hey, that feels pretty good, right? If you're Violet,
yeah.
That's a nice way to keep the Shock rolling this cart forward, because we've just had enough trades that Shock can continue with this momentum. Yeah, the Titans are going to be coming out of spawn, but Mikey, big tanky Winton right now, looking for the nano from Finn.
Oh, there's the Prime. Pushing people back into spawn. Mirror has got that power block, but a good little sleep gets woken up. That's not what you want to see. And the payload continuing its journey to point C. Does pop out of the Primal. Hit with the Nano. He's still playing dormant. You can't pass, buddy. You ain't got ID. Finn ends up going down to Aspire's pulse bomb, but the cart is so close to being completed. Titans need to be able to touch. It's only 1 meter to go. Proper on the payload. Takes care of the Titans. And with 3 minutes in the time bank, the Shock find the full cap.
That was nice and clean coming out from the Shock, especially when they were able to get those big staggers and can keep taking that space. Whew. Yeah, Shock are just kind of, you know, showing us why they are undefeated right now in the league. Titans definitely have their work cut out for them as we look to swapping sides.
Yeah, both 5-minute time banks going into point C, B and C for the Shock, but does feel like a regular day in the office. That, I'm sorry. I don't know, did you see how big Mikey's flask was? That was the size of his head. Oh my God. I do like those comically large flasks though. Yeah. I mean, it means you don't have to keep going to go fill it up with water, which is quite nice, I suppose. Maybe it was just me, and I only had a brief glance at it, but it looked huge.
I think it also, from my perspective, looked like a pretty big a water receptacle.
Yeah.
Hey, at least...
Unless it's like a fisheye camera, like a little bit of fisheye on the lens, so it looks bigger than it is. I don't know, but it looked massive. But he's staying hydrated.
Yeah, hey, that's another player you can check off the hydration list, if not already.
That's true.
So.
That's very true. There you go. Okay, so Shock on the defense, Rose. They got the Wrecking Ball instead of the Winston here.
Yeah, I like the Wrecking Ball. I mean, we've seen how proficient Mikey is on that hero. There's a lot of different ways that you can kind of control the space around here, especially when you see what the Vancouver Titans are kind of coming out of spawn with. I think the Wrecking Ball is just a safe play because you know that the Titans can just go back into spawn and change up what they're playing.
Yeah, it can be quite deadly when you go into that car wash or come out of it, to be fair. Just a big old easy slam. Shockwave trying to find some long-range arrows. Can't quite call himself Legolas, at least in this map.
Yeah, just patiently waiting to get the Storm Arrows back online, see if we can find some damage. It's going to be a bit of a stalemate, though, until pick happens. Mikey's making it real difficult for Titans to want to move forward.
He's
oh, no.
a little bit of trouble, too. He has been discorded, yeah. That was, he tried to go for a slam kill on to the Hanzo, onto Shockwave, but got discorded quite quickly and dealt with. Kilo could store the payload for an ungodly amount of time. Didn't steal the health back, in fact, Spy had a nice little blink to take that away, but with Proper chasing him too, has to hit that recall. Kilo pretty low, can he get killed? No, luckily Finn was there in server, or near server, to heal him up. Sky Ripper with a Sky Nade kills Kilo. Okay, good start, let's go. Aztec kicking Proper. The payload's not moving, but the Titans are forcing the shock all the way back to the spawn room. Okay.
Payload's going to start to get rolling here. You look at how far forward some of the members of the Titans have pushed themselves, though. It's going to be a little iffy whether or not the Shock can actually get back in and contest as a full team here. It almost like they took a little too long, the Titans, to push that cart.
There's a right click there from Aztec. Oh, and a nice, you could call it a nasty pulse bomb there from Aspire, sorry. Aztec going crazy with the nano. Just give Aztec nano every game. Why not? It saves him from getting domed by Mikey, and then he just gets kills. So easy game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bloodthirsty supports across the board.
I mean, why not, right? Like Violet, both Violet and Aztec getting the nano. I mean, look at Aztec here, taking the high ground and then waiting for this picks to come through. My goodness. Oh my gosh, the Proper doesn't want to be there either.
He didn't even need the nano. He was like, yeah, just use it, mate. It's all good. I mean, we're going to get the point. I'll build up another one, no worry.
Yeah.
Nano Blade almost available for the Shock. They got a pulse bomb already. Vancouver Titans need to save Aztec if he gets dove. They do not want to use this Transcendence early. Something that's going to be the key to success at this point. Kilo takes an arrow and an orb. He's got Finn to back him up, however. Nano Blade available. This is when the Shock want to pop it. Aztec is fairly far back. Dragon's in the spaceship to try and save. There's the Nano, there's the Blade. Finn's already dead. Can he find anything? Transcendence instantly used. The San Francisco Shock, don't know what hit him. They lost Finn and Violet so early on in that fight, and Proper had to come up with something, and Aztec sat there with the Transcendence, more than willing to accept that Nano Blade right on top of his head, because he can go invulnerable. 3 minutes to go. The Titans getting close to checkpoint B. A pulse bomb available from Aspire. Doesn't quite get it off. In fact, Finn with a nade at his feet kills Aspire, and those mines are going to stop the Titans from touching.
Yeah, that's a great way for the Shock to just kind of keep the Titans at bay. Oh, Jaws, they were so close too, though. You know, I really thought that they were going to be able to push it all the way forward. Shock just respawned too fast, and now what is happening?
He was just one random shark and would have got him a reset there. Oh, that's so sad. It's so frustrating being that far away is the Genji. Just trying to spam right.
Yeah.
Or hopefully land a lucky left click. It's a hard weapon to use at long range, the left click.
It's a little tough. Proper, though, you know, just trying to build up to another blade.
A bit of sweet revenge there for Violet. God, I love sitting here as Zen on the ship.
Yep.
Just easy access to the doors. Oh, nice little neighbor Finn. That was wow. The Spy was blinking out, and Finn just followed him with a nade.
Feels good. Feels pretty good. Proper's body blocking a doofus. I guess Mikey's there too, but oh man, what is it with these Genjis right now? These Genjis and these Hanzos just dealing with mirror, just kind of crazy.
Oh, Spire still causing absolute mayhem on the Hanzo. Can Violet survive? No. Wow, Nero, 1 HP. A nano boost onto Aspire to try and end this fight quick sharp. A quick blank melee will kill Kilo. And the payload is being pushed. The Shock can come back with a Nano Blade and a Transcendence, but the Titans are going to gain a lot of free ground.
Yeah, this is good though, because they kind of want the real estate that they had garnered just a couple of team fights ago back. I mean,
good sleep.
Yeah, sleeps.
Good headshot. Wow.
Shockwave. The Shockwave is here.
And he's here to stay. That was a really nice couple of arrows, then a sleep on to Kilo before he could get out of that door. That was a nice nice separation of kills there onto the Shock. every now and then just slowly getting one. The Shock just continuing to kind of run into the point. All right, third is tough. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and with a nano blade in the back pocket of Proper, he already pops it. The nade from Sky Ripper right on top of him and Aztec. There's no way you can do that without a dash, unfortunately, Proper. You can kill people through the trance, but it's normally quite unlikely. You have to hit the big old slash and dash combo. And the Transcendence fades away, and the nano, as it was applied late to Proper, he still had that, was able to right-click one-shot almost Sky Ripper. And now, a small little sponk.
I mean, Mikey with Primal Rage can just sit on top of the Vancouver Titans spawn, keep them locked at the doors and away from the payload. I definitely expect Mikey to play way more aggressively here, just knowing that that ultimate is available. I mean, look at him on the high ground right now, just trying to body block the door.
He's getting double pocketed as the orb. Finn shooting darts into him.
Yep. I mean, Finn just kind of has to stay at bay a little bit here to keep Mikey up and away from the dive.
Mikey's taking infinite damage, luckily, like you said. It's got the Primal Rage, but a mid-air sleep from Sky Ripper is going to be cured. Discord and a right-click and a couple of extra bullets from Aspire. Kills Shockwave, or kills Mikey even. Shockwave also dies to Proper. Okay, Aspire with a pulse. They've still got a fair bit of time, 60 seconds to go as the payload has rounded the final corner.
Well, I'm looking at Shockwave's Dragon Strike. You know, Shockwave has been able to do so much, being able to just kind of split the team of the Shock. Oh, that's a great opener too.
Big stick again. Finn now under a lot of pressure. Aztec has taken care of Kilo. It's unfortunate Violet couldn't do the same thing to Aspire as they now push the payload even further. And with 30 seconds to go and the low health bars are Shock, they're going to have to play safe, giving up even more ground.
The Shock, they have the spawn advantage though, as long as they start getting picks here.
Aztec. He's nanoed again. He's going crazy. Give him a kick. Give him a punch. 2 kills for the Zen, a completion in sight, another kick and another kill for Aztec. He gets slept and finally put to rest, but not before the Titans can get the payload in. A minute in the time bank versus the 4 from the Shock. That's what I'm telling you. Violet rubbing his eyes like, oh no, how did we let this happen?
Oh.
Aztec, I'm telling you, nano this guy every single time you got it.
It's working.
Because he's kind of going crazy. Yeah,
it's totally working. Like, you know, when you look at the nano, you're like, I'm going to give it to my Winston. Make sure they get Primal. Or I'm going to give it to the Genji. Let's do a Dragon Blade combination. But what about Aztec? Let's give the Zenyatta even more powerful kicks. I'm here for it, Jaws. I love great Zenyatta play, and this is just delightful.
I mean, what, 45? Okay, I'm literally going to bring up a calculator right now.
Okay.
67.5 damage per kick with the nano.
Yep.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that and a right click, you're fine. You got this.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy.
Easy game. All right, Spire has it out for Finn, apparently. Okay, Finn's willing to accept the challenge. I mean, to be fair, I'm not surprised Violet had his head in his hands, you know, because he has been on the receiving end of so many Aspire pulse bombs.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, Aspire definitely has his number right now, and that definitely doesn't feel good, but nice rotation coming out from the Shock as you do see Mirror start to approach the high ground. You don't want to get caught out by enough of that dive, but Vancouver Titans are definitely playing around the cart just a little bit more, waiting for some of these pieces to get set up, especially when you do have that Sonic arrow giving information over. But they've got to make it under this car wash first and start pushing this cart way faster. Ooh.
Damn, unlucky. Yeah, you just take the duel and you lost. Nothing really more you can say about that one. Those ricochet arrows can do a whole lot of damage if not careful. Nice punch into the wall, Mirror. Good bit of tech, kills Finn pretty quickly. However, the Vancouver Titans still need to touch. Aspire needs to be on payload duty in this at this point. Mirror almost goes down, has a Discord orb on him, so has to play safe around the payload. Overtime is approaching now, Rose. And Mirror is low.
Yeah, I mean, Mirror's just taking so many
Carry down.
clicks into the head.
The carry is down, Aztec is dead, and Violet paying Mirror a little visit. OT is here, and Aspire still on the payload. Aspire trying to, Violet even trying to all of his little tootsies, but not quite getting there. Oh, can he win the 1v1? He does, kind of. They end up trading, and Mikey is on the point, swinging around it. Aztac has come back on the Lucio to help Aspire put the payload in. Kilo goes down to Aztac, as Mikey is now the only one left. They kill him off, and they've unlocked the payload. Point B now is their aim of the game. A pulse bomb missed. Unfortunately, Finn dodged it, and Aspire gets owned by both supports.
I was about time. I feel like Finn and Violet expecting that Aspire is going to go into the backline here, but it's overtime. Oh. Shockwave trying to keep it pushing.
This guy kind of nasty with it. Woo! Takes care of Kilo pretty easy. And now overtime is here. Mikey with a quick bit of roadkill, and the Titans don't get to the payload. Yeesh. Alrighty. Still very winnable for the Vancouver Titans, although with a 4-minute time bank. It's not unheard of to get stopped before first, but it is the Shock after all.
That's true. The Shock, they're going to take that 4 minutes and they're going to turn it into a lot. But the Vancouver Titans, they can stop that cart. Like mathematically speaking, right? Let's say they win out the first 3 minutes, they stop the cart. Maybe, just maybe, depending on where that cart is, Jaws, they can stop it with enough time that the Shock can't get back. I don't know. It is possible, is what I'm trying to say here in a very roundabout manner.
It is possible, but it is an upward hill battle, that's for sure. Gonna rely on Shockwave hitting some more of these arrows. He's shown us what he can do so far. We'll see if he can continue.
Ooh.
Oh, this is okay. This is where they killed Mirror. Mirror. Ooh. They didn't kill him. They just slept in. That's as good as a kill. And yeah, no one's on the payload.
Yeah. Oh, with the nano also though.
It's like you give me nano, so it's like okay, I kind of have to go in, right?
Yeah.
Aztac, you saw there at the very end, Rose trying to shield bash towards the point, and yeah, unlucky. That's that is a certified Charlie Niner.
Yeah, we've had a lot of those this weekend, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah. Something about people being allergic to the payload, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's good because gas prices are so expensive, Joss.
It's true. They don't want to push it that far. They want to rack up those bills.
All right. Moving on to the car wash. Shock kind of just taking this slow here. Again, posturing for position to try to get... Oh, mirror slapped. Oh, no. Disaster.
Good. It's not good. It's not good. What a sleep and what a dash. Reset for Proper. Nice little reflect. Saves his life just for a brief moment. And with the Vancouver Titans losing Mirror, they have a whole lot else to do. The support in the server room are quickly dealt with by the perfect dive from the Shock. So precise and clean. Vancouver Titans, no hope with defending first. They're going to have to give this one up. 3 minutes to go now. Only, what, 30 meters for the Shock to make this a 3-0.
Yeah, and look at this. Shock know that they could just push forward, play aggressive, and one pick, that's it. Titans will be out of this series.
See ya. Mikey stepped up to the plate. Got dominated. Oh, Mirror. Okay, they got a lot of time, like you said, Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, he got slipped again! Nano boost! Shockwave in trouble! That's a one-shot. Proper doesn't need much more than that, and neither do the rest of the San Francisco Shock. In a blink of an eye, it's done. The Shock. GG's all round. A 3-0. 11-0 now in the regular season. After that game, still mad bright spots for the Vancouver Titans. I'm very confident they'll find their first win maybe next week against the Justice. But for now, it is Shock's day. 11-0. What more can you ask from this team?
I don't know. They're undefeated. They're playing for that first seed. That 3-0 definitely going to help out their map differential. Looking ahead into Midseason Madness coming right around the corner. Jaws, if you're a San Francisco Shock fan, I think you're pretty happy with the results so far of the season.
Yeah, super happy. Now, you got to continue that into the tournament, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think let the Shock down last time. They went to LAN. Maybe it was nerves from a lot of the rookies that are currently on the roster, getting up on that big stage. Midseason Madness a little bit different in that regard, but they do play some of the Eastern teams, which could be an interesting affair.
Oh,
In fact,
yeah.
it will be an interesting affair. That clash is always very fun. But the Shock, they're looking great. Unfortunately, Vancouver Titans still 0-11, but Shockwave, I think, can walk away from that game especially proud of himself. The amount of Hanzo kills he was getting was crazy, and he made Kings Row extremely close.
Yep.
But the San Francisco Shock, as good as ever. Player of the match, who is it this time? I think we're going to give it to Finn. His sleeps this game, Rose, were kind of nasty.
They were so good, especially when you just look at how Finn was just constantly focusing down Mirror's Doomfist. That was a really, really big reason why the Shock were able to shut that down so much. I mean, we just saw a really great example of that on Gibraltar as well, where Mirror had the Nano and then insta-sleep, game-winning, series-ending sort of play right there from Finn.
Yeah, it's one thing having an Ana player on your team, and it's another thing having Finn on your team playing Ana. Just world class right now. I think he can cement himself up there. If he continues this performance, at least, going through to the end of the year, up with legends like Twilight. His Ana is just ridiculous. And that Sleep Dart success rate is a big stat on your screen, 46%. And like you mentioned, Rose, his ability to control Mirror on the Doomfist was paramount to the success in this series.
Very much was. I mean, 46%, you look at that and you're like, well, you know, it's like not like outstanding. I mean, for an Ana, that's incredibly good, but you're like, well, you look at that number, maybe like 60-70% would be like, ooh, ah. But it's really important to look at that stat and understand when those sleeps hit, they hit different for Finn. Like, they were so impactful because every sleep shut something big down on the Titans.
Oh, yes, it did. Yeah, the Shock maintaining their lead in the regular season, and coming out with a 3-0 is pretty important too. They're still fighting for that seeding, Rose, worth keeping in mind for the Midseason Madness. So if they end up first, again, they get to choose their opponents first, which is always a big benefit. We're going to jump to a quick break though. We got a couple more banger matches after this. We'll see you in a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Game Break, everybody. I'm here joined now by, hey, it's Mikey from San Francisco Shock. Mikey, congratulations on the win. I think it's my first time talking to you, so very excited for this. I do want to start off by asking you, you were sort of the Wrecking Ball specialist for the San Francisco Shock, but today was a little different. You played, of course, Wrecking Ball, but not only that, you've played some Winston as well. What was the team's or your thought process behind you playing Winston over Kaluj?
Well, I'm not really a Wrecking Ball specialist anymore. You know, my first time in the league on Boston, I was kind of like a Wrecking Ball specialist or whatever, but I've been practicing like all the other tanks since then, and I've gotten like really good at all the other mid tanks. I've been doing really good on in scrims. Today was a bad display, I'm not gonna lie, I did not play good, but yeah, you should look forward to seeing me play a bunch of other tanks, not just Ball in the future.
I honestly thought your Winston was amazing, but here's another question for you then. I mean, because Kaluj plays a lot of Winston too. Are you better than Kaluj?
I'm not gonna talk about my teammate. Kaluj is good too. We're the two best, I'll say that, okay?
Alright. Just poking a little fun at you, bro. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Alright, my bad. I mean, also you are, the newest member of the San Francisco Shock family. Because San Francisco Shock is one of the top teams that we have, and you guys are undefeated. When you first joined, did you feel any added pressure?
Not really. I guess like at first a little bit, but it's a good meta for me right now, and I know I'm the best Ball in the world, so there's no pressure because I'm confident in that. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, damn, San Francisco Shock, they got the tanks locked down. You guys, Shock has the best Wrecking Ball, that's you, and they also have the best Sigma, that's Kaluj. So really good for San Francisco Shock. All right, last question. This is more of a fun one. I just wanted to get like a player's opinion. Like, what are your thoughts as a player on the APAC region currently? Whether it be the meta or the players or the teams, what are your general thoughts of the APAC region?
I think the meta is kind of similar to what like teams in our region play, but I think they're not as strong as like the teams in our region now, but because Shanghai was like really dominant last year, but I think a lot of teams are like struggling with Overwatch 2 and like adapting and stuff. So I don't think there's like I'm not scared of any APAC teams.
Yeah. I mean, I sort of agree as well because they don't have a team like San Francisco Shock. They don't have a team that's undefeated. So good job, Mikey. All right, thank you so much for the interview. That is it from me. All right, and again, big congratulations on the win again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh man, all that schmoozing and didn't even get a wave.
Feels cool though.
Yeah, it was fantastic. No, it was fantastic to hear from Mikey. First time we get to talk to him, you did great.
I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I get a little shy when there's, it's like if I talk to a player that I haven't talked before, I get a little nervous.
I mean, essentially, it's like talking to a stranger, right?
Like, hey, and you guys know me. I'm not that good with like talking to strangers.
No, your small talk is great. That's awesome.
But yeah, no, Mikey was great.
Yeah, no, that kind of stuff is easier when it's in person. You can chat with the player beforehand, but then going in cold, of course. But it was fantastic to hear from Mikey. Yeah, let's discuss the game. Reinforced San Francisco Shock did come out on top. Everyone did expect that. However, I do think that there were a lot of bright moments for the Vancouver Titans here as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like the hardest part about my job is just like rethinking in how many ways I can say that a 3-0 series was close, because it just keeps happening. This stage we get 3-0s, but the maps are kind of close. I'm not going to say in the slightest manner that like Vancouver Titans were on par with the San Francisco Shock. I'm not going to say that, this series could have gone our way. Not like that. But like the moments we saw from Shockwave, especially on the Hanzo and King's Row, Aspire on the Tracer as well, being able to find these picks. These are signs that Vancouver Titans are improving, and they're getting so close to finally getting that win of theirs. They've just had this terrible luck with this strength of schedule these past 2 months, it feels like. And meanwhile, the San Francisco Shock, they put on a clinic. They haven't lost a step. Just perfection throughout. The Winston dives with Mikey were on point, whether he was synergizing with Proper, whether it was with Kilo even on the Tracer, which we didn't really expect. There was a bit of a newer look where Kilo placed the Tracer, but like the synergy was there, the dives were beautiful. So it was tough for the Vancouver Titans because I do think that they looked good and they have so many amazing pop-off moments, but like at dives like these, coming in from the Shock, like what do you do? What do you do if you're the Titans? It was just a class differential right here, but good performances from both teams.
Yeah, this kind of reminded me at certain times, especially on this Gibraltar, of like a tavern brawl. Like it didn't.
Tavern brawl. You and brawls.
No, I you know, sometimes people just need to fight, you know, and that's what this match was, in my opinion.
So
Shockwave on that Hanzo, Aspire on that Tracer. They were trying to go toe to toe with some of these players, you know, Violet, Finn, Proper. They were just trying to win these 1v1s, and they did get the upper hand from time to time, and that goes to show the incredible skill from these players on the Vancouver Titans. They have good players, they just haven't been able to string it together so far. And as Johnny said, they've had a hard schedule. Since their improvement has come through, they haven't really had that sort of softball game. It's just been like, San Francisco Shock, Gladiators, Dallas Fuel.
Have at it.
Come on, guys, win one.
Hey, but that's trial by fire. Everything else after that is gonna look a lot easier.
Yeah. It's like Mitch's favorite phrase. You know, the talent is there.
It's true though, Mitch. Like, it's true. What can you do? We do have another great match coming our way. We did preview it at great length already in our pre-show, but let's dive in one more time. LA Gladiators going up against the Washington Justice. And I'm not going to do this to you, Gus. You may chime in as well, but Reinforce, before we actually started this match, you said that you were tempted to actually pick the Washington Justice. Why is that?
Okay, first of all, context, you know, this comes from someone, disclaimer, this comes from someone who's on the Washington Justice copium like every day, every single hour of the day. So, yeah, not the most honest analysis, but the Gladiators, you know, sometimes they put Putty Pound on Tracer, for example, hasn't looked the best. They've struggled a bit this stage. Washington Justice, happy, decay, really individualistic players. Krillin Vigilante! Krillin Vigilante! Come on! No more Kalios Doomfist! Bring out the Sigma! Let's go, boys! Come on! They got a chance.
I'll give you Vigilante. I'll give you Vigilante. He's the new fresh blood, something different. But I am so sick of talking about, oh, it's happy and decay. They're gonna be sick this time. I know they are.
So sick.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for whatever reason. We have not been able to put our finger on it. Maybe Vigilante with the double flex support, and they put Kalios on the Sigma, we'll see something
gotta figure it out.
Will they beat the Gladiators though? 0%.
Didn't
0%.
just say like a couple of weeks ago or a couple
that he will
never go for the Washington Justice?
And he didn't.
That's true.
He's just like the copium on the side.
He's just like, he just wants to look like a genius in case Washington now wins anyway. He can be like, well, but I did kind of call it, right?
You think I look like a genius with this? Washington?
I mean, hey, you do what you can do. Job security, that's what we're all about here on the desk. Yeah, no, but it's definitely going to be an interesting match either way. And what a laugh we're going to have if Justice actually wins, right?
They probably will, knowing the Justice.
Yeah, like that would be one of those moments where, like, of course they won. And then their social media team is going to come at us like, you didn't believe in us. So, yeah, we're just waiting. Come at us. We're ready for it. We are ready for our casters as well. And, of course, once more, that's going to be Matt and Mitch. Take it away, guys.
I love it. Every time we get to watch the Injustice game, there's usually like a discussion, obviously, about like their flip-floppy nature, the coin toss, or whatever. Like what other memes we have? It's like an iceberg meme where it's like at the top, it's like happy decay.
I wore my funeral attire.
Yeah.
My casual funeral attire.
I don't feel like this is a funeral. I feel like this might be more of an extinction event. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think that people are here to pay the respects. I think we're here to watch the meteors just come crashing into the Justice.
Like Danny joked about, like, you know, the talent is there. Is the Justice the most talent is there team we've ever had? The talent, Mitch, is there.
Is it in fact there? Yeah.
This is the most talent is there team I think we've ever had.
You're lucky you're on that side of the screen, Matt. I swear. You're so lucky you're over there, Homer.
You're small now.
Like Custer said, find me a tavern. Find me a tavern. I'm not small. What are you talking about?
Look, I see those workout streams. You're down to lifting 10s. You're looking. I mean, that's way.
No, listen.
Like,
the camera like takes off 30 pounds. All right, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Okay, I understand. Like, where we go when we start talking about the Washington Justice, right? I think the Kalios Doomfist discussion is really interesting because it feels like it's the kind of hero that they need, right? They can't really go without it. There's definitely some maps where, like, you don't want to play Winston, you don't want to play something less mobile, and you really, like, even Mikey's playing Doomfist, right, in that first map for the Shock.
And, like, a player I was, like, a little bit worried about for this team coming into the season, like, Krillin, like, he's actually been quite good in, like, a lot of the games we've seen. Like,
he and Aztac, right?
Yeah, where Krillin has been pretty strong. It's just this team has not been able to put it together against the top teams. And then also they've kind of faltered and really struggled against some of the teams that we think they should beat. So it may feel like they're in a bit of a free fall right now, but no, a crazy series win in one like this definitely turns it around.
All right, here's your Los Angeles Gladiators. Matthew Kevster and Patapan start in here. And with Funny Astro, of course, coming in at support. And Li Zhangtao's going to be our first map supporter, so that should start to inform the discussion here. I mean, this team looks squeaky clean, incredibly solid. Obviously, they're the most dominant team that we saw through the kickoff clash here for a very good reason. Patapan's really developed into a legitimate threat. Shooters looks, you know, terrifying no matter what he's playing. I think the tank matchup here is probably quite interesting just because, Matt, of how we've sort of seen Kalios' hero pool look fairly slanted towards those sort of less mobile tank heroes and not so much, you know, towards maybe high mobility like Winston Doomfist. So I'm very curious to see where Kalios goes here. But again, we know that Reiner's good for anything, right?
No, this team is so flexible in terms of what they can do. You really don't have any weakness across the board, right? If you want to play the double flex where you have Skewed, you can bring in Ons as a sniper in space, another tank role. Take a look at the Justice, like you mentioned, Kalios in the tank role today, kicking things off. And then also Vigilante. You were saying that they were trying to make him nervous for his first game in the chat today.
Yeah, even Happy is saying it. People ask him on the Gladiator side, like, Vigilante, are you nervous? Happy chimes in, yeah, cheer for him. He's actually extremely nervous right now. He turned 18 yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Vigilante comes in previously from, look, a pretty well-respected Talent Esports roster, which was kind of up there, you know, with your O2 blast through Korean Contenders last year. So quite the pedigree for Tier 2. Vigilante known for being a flex support player here. And alongside Krillin, who has already developed into quite a weapon on the Zen, for example, that's an exciting prospect. And it's someone that I know that the Justice organization have been excited to put in that seat and send him out onto the battlefield here. So new looks for the Justice, hoping to begin a new chapter in this team now as we still trying to figure out whether they're in a nosedive or they're just, you know, just dumping some altitude briefly.
Let's kind of figure out a way the Justice could have looked the way they've looked over the last, you know, few games or whatnot. Maybe they've been practicing with Vigilante and then not able to obviously play him in games until now, and maybe that's kind of taken away from some of the stuff they would like to do. Maybe they look better now and, like, actually whole as a team. That's a possibility.
We'll see how this plays out here. Control Center is going to be our first stage on Li Zhangtao here. So, again, gives us the opportunity to see, like, I think someone's asking for Kalios Sigma, right? But on Control, that seems a little less advisable here, a little bit harder to pull off. Just a pause at the start of the round here. We might even see, like, I don't know, like a Patapan May scenario where Reiner, you know, plays that Reinhardt, or we see sort of a rush attempt here from the Los Angeles Gladiators. So, we'll be jumping the game in just a moment here. Clearly, Vigilante's nervousness has caused him to shake all his peripherals off the surface of his desk, so we'll get that sorted.
Judging by the cameras, you know, I would assume there was something with Kevster, as he was there, and then he was not there.
I see.
So I would assume something with Kevster. You know, we've had in the past where players have, like, spilt drinks on, like, mouse pads and stuff.
Yeah, explosive bowel movements. Family
I don't think we've ever had a pause for that, but I also can't prove that we've never had a pause for that.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's plausible. I've heard the whispers. You know, Scrimbuck Stock Exchange is definitely included. You know, some missives about, you know, some of these biological breaks we have.
Midway through.
Yeah.
So
all right, Kev's
like everybody's good to go.
Okay, so yeah, back in his seat now is Kevster. So not really too sure what that was about, but he's ready to focus up and jump into the game here. And apparently,
Funny Astro's looking like he's having the best day ever. He's got the biggest smile. I don't know. We gotta find out from them what is so funny that happened here at the beginning.
Yeah, Patapan says in match chat that Shu's internet went boom. But I mean, it wasn't Shu out of his
Shu
seat, was
is
it?
right there. We've seen Shu's camera the entire time.
Yeah, he's just been.
Maybe,
Is the
maybe
relationship
it was,
between
I don't
Shu
know.
and Kevster? Did Kevster lose a bet to Shu and now has to go and like take Shu's Ethernet cable and sort of unplug and plug it back in for him? If he ever has internet issues. Must
Yeah,
be
it
nice
looks
to have
like
a
we're
lackey
getting
on your.
closer, though.
Normally, I just use coaching staff as a lackey in that situation, but Shu, obviously, a very powerful individual. Got to respect it. Here we go, Li Zhang Tower. Control center. Be our first round.
So what do you think we'll get the Kalios Doomfist? Is that what you're thinking here?
Yeah, I think so. Unless you want to see... Yeah, okay, and the Rhino. So, look, if this is anything to go by, I'm absolutely spot on. No surprises there. The Gladiators obviously...
I almost just spit my coffee out when you said spot on with your analysis.
Mate, I literally said... I said Kalios Doom, I said right hard. I put myself out there, you know what I mean? Just like every time Johnny predicts the Justice to win.
Last week I was like, let me see how Jaws and Mitch are doing, and I watched you guys wonder what Sojourn's disruptive shot was called for like 5 minutes.
I didn't wonder. No. He definitely wondered. I just wasn't listening to him. That's
it.
a big difference. All right, here we go.
I think the Reinhardt's going to be good against this. You're kind of playing like a pretty bit aggressive style of play here for the Justice. The Reinhardt with the Mei is so difficult to take down, especially with the Batiste in the mix. And going up against a team that is not the most coordinated is Vigilante with a nice dodge getting out of the way. Unfortunately, Krillin doesn't make it.
Yeah, not sure what the idea was there. Krillin on Lucio, by the way, so a bit of a different feel. Normally we'd see Opener in that role. So credit to Vigilante, doesn't die first in his debut match, but he leaves Krillin there to sleep with the fishes. Kalios down, Shu's able to pick him off there, and that's a nice little main wall, going to make it very hard, impossible in fact, for Happy to return to his crew. His Arctic expedition is over.
Yeah, from Vigilante's point of view, it was like he was in like he had a guard at him and got out of the way, and then but didn't realize his homie behind.
Yeah, Vigilante was holding the red cape. Krillin was stood behind it. Didn't even leave him a healing orb.
Vigilante goes away from the Moira now over to Ana, so trying to like use the biotic grenade a little bit more offensively here against this static comp. And 3 players make it in. The Doom is alone though.
All right, so really disjointed from the Justice so far, Matt. I understand why you switch off the Moira, yeah? I think the Mei really discourages a full commit style because you walk into a trap. So you want to play a longer game with the Ana.
Well, this is what I was talking about a few, like right before the first fight where I like this Reinhardt comp, because with a team that's as disjointed as the Justice trying to like dive and play aggressive, and you can split off players with the Mei wall, just kind of hold positions with the Reinhardt, like this is basically a comp where the Gladiators are saying to the Justice, like, hey, we're going to hang out here until you make mistakes, and the Justice have just kind of have players all over.
On the Mei wall again, the Justice gets sectioned off from each other. I think, look, this composition really requires you to be on point if you're pushing into a Mei Reinhardt setup. You can really punish mistakes. That's how London were able to take matches off many teams who weren't ready for it in that first stage. Happy though, sometimes skill wins out. Going to be an overclock kill in a second as Kevster walks into the crosshair there. Reiner is lost at sea.
Yeah, and that was one where the Gladiators ended up using both support ultimates they invested into that fight. They thought they could possibly win it. No, this is going to be a nice stall from Panapan here.
Bit of extra percentage now. Immortality Field even going to be thrown in. Frustration starting to mount for the Justice, you have to imagine, because they're back.
Astro here too, yeah, you have everybody back.
Reiner steps onto the point here. His backline stays a little more scarce. Nice pick off from Happy though, Matt.
But this is like effectively when the Justice started to cap the point, it was like 76. I mean, that is such a large stall there for the Gladiators to get all the way up from that point to 99. Now you can come back, you have your own overclock, you have a Blizzard of your own, they shatter. I do want to say, we'll take a look at it as like kind of the series progresses. Kalios is going in and getting some damage down, but like there's nobody like there to help him, whereas Decay's got to be up in that fight as well.
Vigilante able to avoid the shatter there, but it's going to be an Immortality Field that Decay has to contend with. He's been here before, Matt. Shu gets bisected by the blade, and Kalios is able to finish the job there. Reiner makes an exit elimination. That's all he's likely to have here for the time being, is the Gladiators must wait for the triumphant return. Kalios having trouble dealing with Reiner here. He can't really CC him in a big way, and Ryan can just stay alive there, charge some ult, come back in. He's already a third of the way back to another shatter.
And they can sit on this point with Reiner and try and have the, well, maybe not anymore because you lost Shu, but you could have sat on the point, just contested it, and then used that Mei Blizzard. and forced everybody either off of the point or into a really bad spot. As now you've actually gotten some picks and you forced them back. So the Justice starting to mount a pretty good hold of this point.
Shu's getting picked off at the start of these fights. Shu's positioning fairly aggressively. Here he's actually leading his team in final blows. It definitely makes him subject, though, to Happy just finding a rail shot across the map. Here's Vigilante in a pretty safe position, all things considered, but I can't say the same for Krillin once more. Sleep dart on the Rhino.
The May wall.
Here's a Blizzard as well. Vigilante might have a health pack, but he's going to be unable to get away with this one. Meteor Strike. Drop on a Patapan. He walls himself off to try and back away, but Vigilante was on the right side of the wall, enough to get rid of Patty. And yep, the power block isn't going to save Kalios. He can't touch, and the Gladiators get it done.
It's a nice comeback from the Justice, though. 99-0, they get up to 83%. They've lost Krillin at some really unfortunate times, but a lot of the time it was just him getting sectioned off by a May wall and not able to get out with the rest of the team. So see if we stay on these comps, if they do a better job of that.
We'll see Night Market come up out of the rotator here for this second map. And, you know, I'm not surprised, again, that we see Kalios make this, you know, sort of commitment to the Doomfist. I think a lot of teams get a lot of success with it. I think of the Toronto Defiant, for example, who Muse really seems to have good understanding of that hero. You know, when we get on a patch where the slow gets nerfed, like it is on in sort of the PvP beta right now, then maybe that's a different story. But can definitely see Kalios continuing to workshop the Doom play. Rhina still... Oh, this is some LH
There's also
Cloudy
opinions
position.
on that. Some people think that the slow will really hurt.
Get Quaked on thinks it's fine. He's still strong.
Yeah, and I think I saw Chips had like kind of the same opinion, that he thought it was actually Doom was still really strong. So interesting. We'll have to see how that goes.
All right. Well, the Reinhardt means you can set up shop here on the point first, 9 times out of 10. And Kalios, oh dear, whether there was a power block involved there or not, he just got absolutely ruined. But Decay's able to get into the back line and find Kevster. Paddy's going hunting, sees a Lucio. Be a little careful just in case Krillin about faces and goes for a boot, but that's, look, really not a situation you want your Lucio to get caught in, right?
Yeah. No, and I kind of feel for Kalios, and as we watch some of this game, like, you know, he's in there, right? I know a big seismic slam there, trying to put in some damage here. Like, there's nobody else that's being aggressive with him. You know, where we see a lot of teams where you have the Doomfist, right? You have like a Tracer to work with, or a Genji, like, you know, Decay's on Genji right now, but we almost never see him kind of working in tandem with Kalios. Like, I don't think you